Morning, everybody. It's about 7 o'clock out here. You can see I get some shade early morning. Here's the garden. I did a little rototilling in here yesterday morning. The roosters, I just turned them loose out of the chicken coop, so they're a little loud. The red rippers here. I got something else going on in there too. I don't know. It may be some more radish seed in it that I didn't get out of the planter, but I don't care. But these radishes over here. I've seen some getting almost big enough to eat when I was breaking this ground up, try to aerate that soil a little bit. Look at them onion rows. There's some henbit or something in there blooming. There's another that may not be the henbit. There's another one that looks similar to it, but I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I didn't need the onions when I planted them, but I like growing them. But I just ran out of time. To weed things, actually, I ran out of want to at the same time. The English peas, there's some blooms on it. Like I said, this was my first time growing English peas. Growing up, well, we didn't ever grow English peas. The only English pea experience I had was those nasty canned ones, and I didn't care for them. It wasn't so much the flavor; it was just they was mushy, and I didn't like that mushy, like canned asparagus. Yuck. Yeah, sounds good. The okra. Finally see some okra in there. If the grass don't outgrow it, we're finally getting some warm days again. Yay. Unless you're working in the bee yard, then it's hot days. Up in the 80s. Wearing a jacket. The green beans, they're growing. Some of them's already hit the top of the trellis down towards the end. Of course, they get a little more sunshine down there quicker, so that's probably the reason. See down here, they're just now starting to go up this trellis. But at the very end of the garden, where they're getting just a little bit of light, it's like I said, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning, roughly. They're getting a little peak of sunlight, so they're getting a little head start there. The squash row. There's a big old skip right here. Nothing down here till we get to there. Some cucumbers. And the same thing with this cucumbers. They're a little smaller here until I get to the end of the row. Then they're a little larger because they get just a little more early morning sunshine down there. Sunflowers. And the sweet corn. This is Merit, M-E-R-I-T. Sweet corn my grandparents grew, and then I've grown it over the years. And then I tried a different one, trying to find a heirloom variety sweet corn. About the only closest thing I found to it was Golden Bantam, and I had a very bad year growing it, so I went back to the Merit yellow sweet corn. But there's the garden looking pretty good this morning. Nothing accomplished down there at the end of the greenhouse, but I have got 40 of those self-wicking tubs built or assembled, I guess you should say. I didn't build anything, I just assembled it. And I've got room for about 14 more in the greenhouse when I get it cleaned up. So I still got plenty of this potting mix from Leon's Greenhouse in Kingston, Oklahoma. That's a free plug. You're welcome, Leon. Peppers, hot peppers. Got cayenne peppers and some Tabasco peppers going on in it. These are the self-wicking tubs. Yeah, they may be a little crowded in there, but we'll see. I've got one empty one here. I didn't put anything in here yet. I've been busy. Have I mentioned I've been busy in the bee yard? Have you seen all the swarm videos? And there was a comment left, and it was an absolutely true comment. Split them or catch them. Exactly. Last year, we had a very dry year. And we didn't have a very large spring nectar flow for the bees. And I didn't have to split them, and I might have caught one swarm for the whole year. This year is a little different story. We've had plenty of rain. I thought the rain was gonna affect the nectar flow. Them stupid roosters. Anybody needs some roosters? Let's just walk up here and get a little distance between us and the roosters. We'll do a walk by on the blueberries. How's that sound? I was able to get through all of the bees yesterday, but unfortunately, the curse of the hay rake strikes again. This may be a long video. These are the ones I transplanted this spring. So you can see they're doing pretty good. I believe they've all survived, and they're making a crop of blueberries. But I was kind of careful on getting a big brute ball on these, and some of them are smaller plants, and they've got some new growth going on. So yay. I don't know how many blueberries are here. Like I said, there's about 5 different varieties, and I don't remember what the names of all the varieties are. So I apologize for that, for not being able to tell you what the varieties are. But a lot of blueberries. So probably next month, guess what I'll be doing every morning? Well, about every other morning. I don't pick them every day. Probably every other day. But I don't know. Like I say, there's I think about 88 blueberries here, and when I originally planted them, I planted 25 of them in each of these rows, about 2 foot apart, and I was expecting some die-offs, but and I did have a few die, but not very many. And these are actually too close. You know, I would rather have them a little further apart, but we can live with this, I believe. But they're getting some height on them. When I planted them, they was little plugs, maybe a couple inches tall. And I don't remember how many years ago that was. It's been several. You know, about the first 3 years, I don't think I got anything off of them. And trying to water them, keep them alive through the heat of the summer, you know, that seemed like that's all I did. It was just water. Yeah, I got some fans going in here for the wind effect. I did transplant my oregano and thyme and things into these self-wicking tubs, and they seem to be doing pretty good for now, but we haven't hit the heat of the summer. Got some turmeric and ginger going. And some of these cabbages probably won't make. It's probably going to get too hot, but I transplanted those. And I've got some tomatoes in these, and I just put these cattle panel trellises up, suspended from the hoops. There's a moringa. It's kind of yellowed. There's another cabbage there. And my avocado. I'll probably never see an avocado off that thing. But it was fun to grow. And I put some carrots in here just the other day. We'll see what happens. Because this greenhouse gets pretty warm. And one of the comments was, you know, why the different shade cloth on the greenhouse. Basically trying to keep it a little cooler in here, although it does shade it quite a bit now. There's some dill. I'll be freezing some of that. May have a few too many peppers in there. Tomatoes. And these I think are bush early girls, so maybe they won't get too tall for my little trellis. And I'm going to clear the rest of this area out, and I can get about 10 more of the self-wicking tubs there. I'm going to eliminate this bench, and I can get a few more, at least 4, maybe 5 more in this area, and I'll put this this weed barrier down also. But I just hate to tear out these tomatoes. You know, they got tomatoes on them. Some of them are getting ripe. The Juliets. Those are prolific producers for a small paste type tomato. Sweet banana. And these are not self-wicking tubs that they're in. I have to water these things constantly. Got the little cherry tomatoes. The screen keeps going dark. Can't see what I'm doing. Cherry tomatoes. Anyway, that's the greenhouse tour. Okay, that's kind of it. A little long-winded. I don't know how to make short videos. You know, I have to edit them to the point, you know, that they're about less than 10 minutes. Because my average viewing time is about 3.5 minutes. So we'll catch y'all later, folks.